Hello everyone and welcome back to this video. In this video we will understand the callback patterns and callback style of programming in Node.js. This video will focus on explaining the concept of callbacks. To begin, it's essential to understand that in JavaScript, functions are first-class objects. This means that, like any other object, a function can be passed as an argument to another function and can also be returned as a value from another functions. To illustrate this, let's consider a simple example. In the index.js file of VS Code, we defined a function called greet that accepts a name parameter and logs hello followed by the name to the console. Then we defined another function called greet_ali. The special aspect here is that this function accepts another function, greetfn, which is another function, as its argument. Within the function body, we declared a constant name with the value ali and call the passed-in function with the name as its argument. And finally, we invoked greet_ali, passing in the greet function. When we run node index, the control goes to greet_ali, which calls greetfn, and greetfn is simply the greet function declared on line 1. The execution then proceed to the greet function with the name set to Ali, and hello Ali is logged to this terminal. As you can see on the screen, hello Ali is logged to the terminal. Here greet_ali is a function which accepts another function as an argument, and you might be pleasantly surprised to learn that any function that is passed as an argument to another function is called a callback function in JavaScript. Also, the function which accepts a function as its argument or returns a function is called a higher order function. If I simply rename the function and its argument to convey what they stands for, let's rename it. Higher order function. Callback. So higher order function accepts a callback function, and on line 7 it calls the callback function, passing in the name constant. So now you know what a callback function is. You might be thinking, is that it? Well, yes, a function passed as an argument to another function is called a callback function. But what we need to understand is, why do we need a callback function? We can answer that by categorizing callbacks into two types, synchronous and asynchronous callbacks. Synchronous callbacks are executed immediately. In our example, the greet callback function is a synchronous callback function, as it gets executed immediately when the control goes inside the higher order function. A more practical example of synchronous callbacks is when they are passed to a methods like sort, filter, or map. In these cases, the callback function defines the logic that the higher order function applies. Now let's move to the asynchronous callbacks, which will bring our focus back to asynchronous JavaScript. An asynchronous callback is used to continue or resume code execution after an asynchronous operation has completed. In the async world, Callbacks are used to delay the execution of a function until a specific time or event occurs. This use case is important because most modules in Node.js have an asynchronous nature to prevent blocking of execution. Examples of asynchronous operations include reading data from a file, fetching data from a database, or handling a network request. To help understand asynchronous callbacks, let's go back to browser JavaScript, where we use event handlers. When JavaScript encounters add event listener, it doesn't immediately run the callback function. In other words, the execution of a callback function is delayed until an event occurs in the browser, which in case is the click event. Another example of data fetching with callbacks is using jQuery. In the $.get method, the first argument is the URL and the second argument is the callback function, which is called only after the data has been loaded. This is the callback pattern or callback style of programming that is popular in Node.js. It allows you to delay the execution of a function until a specific time or event has occurred. With this understanding of callbacks, let's proceed to the next video where we will continue learning about the different built-in modules in Node.js. Thank you very much.